Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information. Is your child a natural-born entertainer? Now is their chance to join the most talented youth dance crew in the Mid-South, the Blue Bunch. The Blue Bunch entertains Grizz Nation with their energetic dance routines and even have the opportunity to collaborate on performances with leading artists in the entertainment industry. Kids ages 7 to 17 are invited to show off their skills and personality for their chance to join the next generation of NBA entertainers. Open auditions are Saturday, June 28th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
You get to the main event. And you hear the crowd. There's some rumblings in the crowd.
Here we go.
They say, "We want truth."
I love how John Cena said when they were chanting, "We want truth." You can't handle the truth.
There you go.
I loved it.
He takes me off, boom. Takes the mask off, boom. And it's our freaking truth. God, man, he cost John Cena the match.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The First Ladies of FedEx Forum, the Grizz Girls, are known across the NBA for setting the standard for professional dance and entertainment, and they are looking for dancers to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. With the chance to gain professional dance experience and connect with the Memphis community, auditioning for the Grizz Girls is an opportunity you do not want to miss. Come show up at Open Call Auditions Saturday, July 26th at the Memphis Sports and Event Center. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions now for more information.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
There are futures for Aaron Judge possibly hitting 400. Hitting 400 at the All-Star break, plus 600.
Oh, wow.
To have a 400 batting average in the regular season, plus 3,800. To win the Triple Crown is only plus 145.
I don't think he's going to hit 400 for the season.
I don't either. I that would be
ridiculous.
Yes, ridiculous.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
On GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It is the Thursday, June 26th, 2025 edition of the show. Today on the show, it happened. After spending the last few weeks talking about the NBA draft, we focused our attention on one prospect on the Chris Vernon Show because of too many random instances that all added up. And then last night, the Memphis Grizzlies traded up to take said prospect. We will get to the drafting of Cedric Coward. In addition to that, our old buddy David Thorpe, Coach Thorpe, wrote an article for True Hoop yesterday before any of this was relevant, that we would be the team with Cedric Coward, and he had an article that said he would take Cedric Coward number 2 in the NBA draft behind Cooper Flagg. Coach Thorpe's going to join us on the show today at 12:30. We'll go through everything that took place last night. It is a Thursday. It is a beautiful day. It is hotter than hell, but smile, let's do it. Turn it up! Once in your life, won't you do what feels right instead of waiting for the next big thing to strike? Stop running your mouth, get out of the house, get yourself downtown and shake it off. Baby, once I wasn't enough, baby, I want the strong. Yeah. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right. Well, last night we were all up here for a Grind City Media draft show in expectation of the Grizzlies taking the 16th pick in the NBA draft, though we knew there was an opportunity and a thought that they might be very well trading up, because that has been the MO of the front office here. They have typically targeted a player, and then they have done what it took to get up and get said player. And last night, indeed, they did that, and it was pandemonium up here because it's destiny. It was destiny what took place last night. Cedric Coward, not in town yet, will join us on the show tomorrow. Of course, the second round of the NBA draft is going to be going on this evening. Before I get to anything, I welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Bandit, in your sight. Johnny Backpaw, Johnny Bearcat, the Grim Roser, John Asparagus, Johnny Neck Carb, John Lance. He's Yogi Roser. He's Dr. Thunder. Hello, John.
What up?
Devin Walker's here. He's the microphone mangler, Senor Quasadilla, Mr. Math, Navajo Joe, the reporter, the photographer. He's Walker 93.
Vernon, I just got word.
He's limper.
Yeah, I'm good.
He's
though.
limper 93.
I stretched it out last night, Paul.
Oh, there we
good.
go.
But I got word. Somebody's texted me, and they said that we're gonna do our interview with Cedric Coward tomorrow, live from Target. I got the news. They said
We're
we're gonna put it right in the middle of the health and goods section. We're gonna do the interview from
You know what's so crazy is that a lot of people last night, several, reached out to me and they said, you have to find the guy from Target. And I don't know how I could find this guy. I don't know. He's out there somewhere.
Target guy.
Whoever this guy is. So for those of you that are unaware, this all started because about a week and a half ago, we come on Monday, and everything has changed regarding our thoughts towards the NBA draft. We had done a cursory look at second rounders and see if there's anybody in there that we liked, and that was the extent of it because they traded Marcus Smart, and along with Marcus Smart, they traded their first-round pick for this draft. So this was going to be a draft that we weren't going to be paying attention to nearly as intensely as in many years in the past. And then that all changed when they traded Desmond Bane. And it was like, oh God, now we got a crash course.
Yep.
And I said to Roser, it's a quick refresher for everybody out there that does not know why we were going crazy last night. Because
Person who I think
what happened was Roser came on, and as we are going through guys and we are trying to identify guys in the draft, he came across an article that listed off wing players with 7'2" plus wingspans and then listed them off. And we were sitting here in shock and awe. It was like, whoa, now? Like, that's a pretty unbelievable list. And then he said that 2 players in this year's draft that were projected to go qualify. And he said Cedric Coward. And at that moment on the show, in the most authentic moment we could possibly have, I said, I stopped him and I said, this is crazy. 2 months ago, I was in Target and I was buying a box of basketball cards, and a guy said to me, as we're small talking, he's like, hey, Vernon. And I was like, hey, man. He's like, you just getting some cards? And I was like, yeah. And then he's like, you know, people are buying these Cooper Flag cards. This box that's got the Cooper Flags in it. He's like, if you get the autograph, people are selling them for like $1,000 on eBay. And I was like, what? And I was like, all right, well, I better get those. And so then, as I'm buying the box of cards, the guy says to me randomly, you know, everybody's chasing these Cooper Flags, but the best player out of this draft is going to be Cedric Coward. And I was like, who? Didn't think about it again until Roser lists off that he applies for this thing. And so at that very moment in time, it became very, very real. Then he starts, moving up these mocks. Then he's in a bunch of the mock drafts going to the Grizzlies. Then I tell the story on The Ringer, and it just becomes a thing. It becomes a thing like, oh, this is the guy. Like, it has to be. The guy in Target told me who the best player was. I don't know who this guy was. I don't know his basketball expertise, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's pretty obvious at this point. This is all lined up. This is destiny. And so then we get to yesterday, and then we, as time went on, we spent more time talking about Cedric Coward than any player in the draft, just because of this weird thing that happened.
Yep.
And this weird instance, and then I came on the air and I told you guys, I deep dove and fell in love. I was like, oh my, like the interviews, the highlights, I'm like, whoa now. Like, you already told me there's a crazy success rate on just this frame and ability. Now I listen to the kid talk and I'm like, I'm in. I am in. And then we hear that he came to Memphis on Monday randomly. Then it becomes rather evident to me he ain't making it to 16. And especially because after I watch all these interviews, I'm like, bro, there's no way he's making it past 15. Like, my nightmare is that 15 is going to be Oklahoma City, or 14 is the San Antonio, right? They're not passing up on this character, all right? Even if he can't play, they just want that guy, So their MO, too. So then we came on yesterday and said, Cedric Coward, you're going to have to trade up. Like, you're going to have to jump some of these teams. probably, in order to get him.
Especially because the Thunder fans are starting to kind of bubble a little bit about how amazing he is.
Yeah.
You see some of those videos are coming out, like Thunder fans like, oh my God, we're projected to get Cedric Coward. He's going to be so great. And then we picked
We're
him.
getting we're going to have two Jalen Williams on our team.
Then we picked him, and they're like, oh, they want to shit on him now.
The worst is the poor Portland guy.
Yeah, pull one out for Portland guy.
Let's play him. This is a
Portland guy.
Poor Portland fan last night. Oh, my goodness. I've done this before, too, where you're so excited and you're talking it up, and then you just get your heart ripped out of your chest. It's tough. It is a tough spot.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Yes. Yes. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Cedric Coward is a Portland Trailblazer. Oh, my God.
We'll let him talk him up.
Drew. I don't want to.
Oh, my God. Okay. So, yeah, the Thunder window just closed. Wendy, you're going to need to descend from the mountains because you got a new team to compete with in the West. Cedric Coward, 6'6". He's got the unique Jalen Williams build in that he's like 6'4", 6'5" without shoes with a 7'2" wingspan. So you combine that extremely low center of gravity of a shorter guy with the reach of a much larger guy. He's got like an 8'10", 8'11" standing reach, which, for context, is like they're small NBA fives with that standing reach. But like he's power forward sized, but his shot is butter. He reminds me a lot of Phoenix Mikal Bridges with his like really, really controlled pull-up game. And God, just watch this man shoot a ball with the length that he has, and you'll immediately buy in. Plays his tail off on defense. 39-inch vert, as you see here on the screen at the combine. But let me take you back a little bit because I'm hyperventilating because I can't believe this actually came true. God. Thank you.
Drew, I've got really bad news.
No! No! God, no!
God, no.
I'm sorry. He's a Grizzly. I hate to do it to you. I really didn't want to kill a man on live Twitter. I'm sorry.
My God, about to pass out.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
I am broken.
I saw it before they made the pick, too.
I'm broken.
And
You saw it before they made the pick. Is that why you didn't say anything?
well, I didn't say
Am I just a...
You let that man cook, bro. That's a bad friend, by the way, bro. You let me cook like that knowing damn well I'm going to be so sad.
He tried to stop him at the beginning.
Poor guy, man. But look.
I mean, so the
guy.
crazy thing is, obviously, the level of exultation that we had last night over all of this was because what are the chances? What are the chances that we spend that much time just talking about? Like he could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And we also didn't, like, that could have been, honestly, it could have been Colin Murray Boyles. It could have been Maliuk. It could have been Noah Assange. It could have been Carter Bryant. It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
That a guy in Target told me, and then I deep dove, and then we fell in love, and then we wanted him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Target guy.
Target guy.
Just a win.
I need you to pop out, bro.
We don't have if we.
You didn't see the celebration yesterday when it happened live.
Our celebration.
This is last night.
It was wild.
We had a freaking party.
You hurt
man.
your knee.
Yeah, I hit my knee on the desk.
And you know what? You know what's crazy?
I caught the Holy Ghost in here, bro.
What is this? What is this bone right here on the end of your wrist? I don't know what that is. I guess your wrist bone. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe it's your wrist bone.
Wrist bone is
Maybe
crazy.
that's your wrist.
Wrist
Yeah,
bone
it's your
is
wrist
crazy.
Maybe that's what it
yeah.
is for a wrist bone. When I start banging on the table, whatever.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I hurt my wrist bone.
Damn, that's tough.
We all got
Look,
injured yesterday.
like-
Yeah. We all got hurt yesterday, bro. I'm catching the Holy Ghost with BK. Rozier, I don't know what Rozier's doing.
I don't know what I'm doing either.
So it all
I
just-
moved the chair, but I almost pushed it down or something. I don't know. Yeah.
Because honestly, like beyond, look, we're excited for Cedric Coward. There's no way
Yeah,
around
for
that.
Sure.
But
then I found out this man, the first thing he's going to do is pay his tithes. Nothing more Memphis loves than a guy who's going to pay his tithes
my
off the
God.
on his first
and
contract.
he said his favorite food was chicken wings.
Yeah, and he loves J. Cole. Shout out to my dog.
Yep, I knew you'd love that.
Yeah. So we
and
got
Juice the God. He loves Juice the
Well,
God.
here,
too.
look. Slam Magazine grabs all these prospects, so you can at least hear some of his opinions on things. Obviously, we're going to get a lot of his opinions on things when he joins us tomorrow on the show. But Slam Magazine grabs all the prospects at the draft last night, so you can hear some of his thoughts on. They do like a rapid fire deal with him. I don't know if you guys have seen this one yet. Here it was last night. Slam Magazine grabbed him.
Best NBA player of all time.
Kobe Bryant.
Best WNBA player of all time.
Lisa Leslie.
Best basketball team of all time.
The Lakers.
Best defender of all time.
Dennis Rodman.
Best coach of all time.
Phil Jackson.
Best basketball sneaker of all time.
Kobe's.
Which one?
5s or 6s.
What's your go-to pregame hype song?
I've been listening to All Facts by Juice the God, and I mix in Luther Vandross Never Too Much.
What's the best basketball movie of all time?
He Got Game.
Who's winning the 2026 NBA Finals?
Hopefully whatever team I'm on.
Who's winning the 2025 WNBA Finals?
It's hard to count out the Liberty, man.
Who's got the best slam cover?
Any of them, really. I like them all.
Who's the most stylish player in the NBA?
Shaq.
What's the best court in New York City?
MSG.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Cedric Coward. I'm from Fresno, California.
There you go, Fresno, California represent. He's a Kobe guy for sure. And I tell you this, I pulled up that song. He said he listens to the pregame. I mean, that is. He needs to pay his tithes. He's listening to that in the pregames because that thing is rancid.
The yin and the yang of that and Luther Vandross is crazy.
You
though.
ain't playing that one in front of your kids.
Yeah, that's a crazy roller coaster, bro.
It's one of those songs. There's no chance there's a clean version.
Yeah.
It can't be.
No, there's not. It's just this.
But whatever gasses you up, brother. Whatever gasses you up, brother.
We love it, bro.
Hey, look.
And he's 23 too, bro. I love that part. About it. I love that he's 23.
He's 21.
I thought he was 20. He's 21?
Yeah.
I thought this was somebody.
Isn't he?
Was I tweaking?
Is he 23? Is he 23?
I think he's 23.
I might be wrong.
Oh, he's 21. He's 21. 2003.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's 21.
But that's an older kid, though, right? He ain't one of those 19, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's
also his story, I mean, obviously, Gary talked about it on the Matt Norlander 5,000-word piece that they did. I mean, just unbelievable story. Like, honestly, it's never happened before. Truly, never happened before. He was Division III, and he was playing at Willamette in Oregon, I believe. And, you know, there's all these sliding door moments in anybody's life. And at one point in the article that I thought was so fascinating, Matt Norlander writes in the article, like, what would have happened if that didn't happen? And there's a bunch of these that took place, right? Wasn't a big AAU kid, didn't get recruited by Division I, all this kind of stuff. 0-star recruit, all that stuff. Goes and plays at this school in Oregon because he cares about the academics, honestly. He went to the school for the academics. Team wasn't any good. Division III school, and one night at a hotel, you know, we talk about all the time, and obviously, you know, we've become friends with James Kane, who is an assistant at Dayton, who was once an assistant at Murray State, who by chance was walking out to a vending machine at a Chandler Parsons basketball camp, and all of the awesome players are in one gym, and he goes to grab Doritos in a vending machine and looks in the auxiliary gym and sees Ja Morant. And the story of his life literally changes, right? This guy he was starving. So he wanted a bag of Doritos. And what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't go to the vending machine and then doesn't look in the gym and whatever? Crazy story on this one. Cedric Coward plays for this nothing team. As Norlander tells it in the story, they are somewhere getting ready for a game or whatever, and the Eastern Washington coach is flipping around on TV, and they are playing like the same way we would play Christian Brothers, Memphis would play Christian Brothers. Mm-hmm. Same kind of deal. It's a big-time school playing against Willamette, like to get ready for the season. They're killing them. The Division I team is. They're killing them. It's one of the Northeast teams. Maybe it's Portland or somebody like that, right? And they're killing them. But he leaves it on the channel because he went to a Division III school in the same division as Willamette. It's the only reason he's watching the game.
Yeah.
And as he's watching the game, he's like, who the hell is that? because Coward goes off in the game. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, they keep up with it. He ends up at Eastern Washington. Then he ends up at Washington State. Then he ends up at, he's going to Duke, but instead he went to the combine and just blew everybody away, right? Yeah. And you listen to the kid talk, you see the interviews, you understand how this is exactly the type of individual. There's a clip that we had from the show a week ago where I said I'd deep dove and I watched his interviews and I was like, oh my God, like you got to be kidding me with this kid. Yeah. And so the story is just absolutely incredible. He didn't make his varsity team until his junior year of high school. Like it's just, it's all of this, and I do think that there is so much of Memphis that is going to fall in love with him and the story, much like they did Jalen Wells, because it's like, bro, you were given nothing.
Yeah.
Everything about you getting to this moment
you got to go take
is you working because there were no advantages. There's no advantages. If he didn't even start at Eastern Washington when he went there. I mean, you think about the culture of basketball now with AAU and with going places and NIL. He didn't take it also got no money to transfer. Mm-hmm. Zero. Like it's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot that this stuff happens. Like all of it. And then you add it up and it's like, and then you've got the Grizzlies trading up to get you. So we do need to talk about what they traded. So one of the things we talked about was in the Bain trade, it's the acquisition of assets and what do you want to use those assets for, right? And if you have a conviction about this player and you think he can be a big part of your franchise for a long time, if you're taking a swing and you believe like that he's going to be a starting level, outstanding NBA player, and at worst, a role player, right?
Yeah, I hope it's different than the Zaire thing.
Right.
And the Jake thing.
All right, so here's what I'm going to say about this.
And the David Roddy thing.
This is why this one is radically different than the Zaire Williams thing. Okay. And I think that's something they probably learned from. This is what I guess. I don't know. I've never talked to him about it. But just from being around and for so many years and understanding the way this goes, the mistake on the Zaire Williams thing is a mistake that I do not think they will duplicate again. And that is you didn't know who was going to be there. You made a guess at who was going to be there. That trade was done prior to the draft. So you acquired that pick, and you thought, the story goes, they thought Giddey or Franz was going to be there. And they weren't. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll just take best prospect available, right? But the intention was, and again, if that's Franz Wagner, it's a different world, right?
1,000% different world.
And again, they missed the pick, but I'm saying you can't, the reason this is different is because this is a very intentional, we are trading up to get this player, right? That was we're making this trade and we're going to have the 10th pick, and one of the guys we really want is going to be there. Yeah. And look, because I will just tell you, it always stood out to me, and this is not in retrospect. You know, Roser, you were with me.
Yeah.
Bro, that draft got done. They talked up Santi Aldama so much more than Zaire Williams. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? Mm-hmm. I always thought that was not really what they wanted to take place with 10. I always believed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because difference is, right?
Yeah.
Santi, they traded up. They traded to get Bain. Traded to get
BC,
right at the end of the first round, right? And those other guys, like, I just felt that way that draft. I remember, I'm like, why are you? Like it was like every time I bring up Zaire, they'd be like, yeah, Zaire, but Santi Aldama, I'm telling you, this guy that we just got, and I'm like, you just took a player 10th,
right?
Yeah.
What are we doing, huh? So
we didn't trade to get Jake, did we?
Did
we trade up to get Jake?
Let me see.
I don't remember whether or not
because I'm just trying I'm just trying to distinguish this pick because I'm excited about it, of course, but I'm also like cautiously optimistic about it because
and we traded for the pick that was Roddy, but that was the Melton trade. And that was stupid.
Yeah. So that trade. I don't know how the radio was. So the Roddy win was Melton for the 23rd pick that became Roddy.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yes, it was.
I agree.
What was that? It was with Minnesota because that pick was originally Minnesota.
Israel, Minnesota.
Jake was in the 2022 draft.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
But yeah, I just want to make sure, because I'm cautiously optimistic about all this. Like, I'm excited about him being on our team because I know he's gonna be a good player. But for me, like, I see the last night, I laid in bed and I was like, okay, we got Sid, we got Jalen Wells, but we still need a piece right there, and we still need a center. So that's what I'm thinking about the next step of this situation.
Sure,
they
more
did.
so than like.
Well, this is like, look, they made the Bain trade. They've already used. So I didn't really have a problem giving up. Look,
they did trade up for Jake. They gave up 22. They had 22 and 29. They traded 22 and 29 up to get 19, and then traded Melton to get 23.
Gotcha.
Okay,
so here's what I'll say. Like, there's this whole you gave up 2 first rounders. No, you gave up 1. Like, you got to pick 10th or 11th last night instead of 16th.
Yeah.
Right.
Those are two. You used 2 of the 4 picks from the Bain trade, though. You've used 2 of them now.
Correct.
Yeah.
But the other one is a 2028.
Yes.
Right? And you still have your own 2028.
You still have your own 2028.
Right? So and if Orlando is good, which people, again, you never know the way this stuff is going to go. This is what. But I also told you, you never know. But look, never in a million years a year ago would we have guessed Cooper Flagg is going number 1. And Dylan Harper is going number 2, and Philadelphia is picking number 3.
And by the way, with the way the season started last year, we were the 2 seed for over half the season.
Right.
Didn't think we'd be picking 11th or 16th or any of this.
You didn't. So you never know. And so, Orlando is a Paulo or a Franz, massive injury away from, having a down year like we went through 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You never know those picks are going to go. That being said, you attained the assets so that you could make moves like this. And they looked at it and thought, and you heard Zach Kleiman last night, even with names that are like free agent-wise or whatever, we thought this was the best use of the asset. We thought, this is a guy that we targeted. This is a guy that we wanted.
For sure.
And so we went up and got him, and we're aggressive about it.
Like you
said, we're not one player away. I was like, okay.
Kleiman also said last night, in addition to saying we're not one player away, he also said when he was asked about the risk of doing this, because it's a guy that he only played X number of games in college, competition wasn't as good, the risk of trading these assets in order to get up. And Kleiman's answer was basically threw it back at the guy and said, the risk to us is not getting the guy that you have the highest on your board.
Yeah.
That's the risk.
Yeah.
That's the Zaire Williams lesson.
That's the Zaire Williams. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the Zaire Williams lesson.
Yeah.
So they weren't going to mess around with this one, even if it cost them assets. So yesterday morning, True Hoop puts out an article. This is before any of this plays out. For many years, Coach David Thorpe has been on our show. And oh my goodness, I read his article yesterday, and it says, I would take Cedric Coward second in the NBA draft behind Cooper Flagg. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. What are we doing here? We've been talking up Cedric Coward on the show for weeks, and now this article comes out, and a guy that we have had insane amounts of respect for many, many years, and his basketball acumen says that he would take him number 2 overall behind Cooper Flagg, and then lays it out all in the article that was on True Hoop that came out yesterday. I think we have him with us. I think Coach Thorpe's with us.
I'm here.
Hey, you look good,
4K.
man.
You're 4K.
You're getting that Florida sun, huh, Coach Thorpe?
Yeah, how are you? I'm sure you guys are very happy today. You got yourselves a hell of a player.
All right, so when did you first become aware of Cedric Coward? Because I am so fascinated by this incredible love affair you have with him as a player. And I mean, this is a guy that we didn't see, right? We didn't watch him play collegiate basketball, and a guy that really got on our radar, and I think a lot of NBA fans' radar just a few weeks ago. But obviously, you have had even personal contact with him well prior to when everybody became enamored with him, Combine on. When did you first find out or know about Cedric Coward?
So, every year I normally get calls from different agents and agencies asking me for just my thoughts on what a player looks like and what does he project to be, and maybe what he should be working on in terms of a player development plan, whether I'm involved with them or not, which in most cases I don't get involved with them. I only can do so many guys. And so a year ago I was asked to come to LA to watch him. I don't think I even saw him in pre-draft. I saw him for his pro day and was really underwhelmed with his lack of athleticism, as I wrote in the article. He looked the part until you saw him play, and then I didn't see any pop. Like, if you're watching the game, and let me just say this, on behalf of the NBA, I apologize for everyone who watches these telecasts and these shows. None of them have any idea what they're talking about when it comes to winning NBA basketball. They talk in narratives and cliches. They don't really, or if they understand it, they don't share it with anyone publicly. Sadly, tragically. Anyway, I'm watching this guy who doesn't really have any athletic pop in a league that I know how valuable that is. And I told the agents involved, there were two, that I don't see him as a draftable player this year coming from Eastern Washington. And I know that he was, I think at that point, already transferred to Washington State. I said he needs to work on his athleticism, and they asked me to talk to him, and so I did. I don't remember talking to him, as I wrote in the article. But apparently, according to him, I told him, like, you don't jump, you play like an old man. You're really skilled old man, but still an old man. Like, we need to see some pop, man. And fast forward, I mean, I was in touch with him some during the year. I think he liked that I was really honest with him. He didn't play but 6 games this year, so that tells you something about how little I really had a chance to kind of give him feedback during the year. I went to see him in pre-draft, and I'd already heard he was really impressive in pre-draft workouts with his own group of guys from the agency. So I spent a week in LA in May, and you could hear the dunks before you saw them as the ball was hammering down on the ground. And he's represented by the same agents that work with Ryan Nembhard in the draft, who's been around good players for a long time, as you guys probably know, and not just including his brother R.J. Barrett and Shea and all those guys. And he was telling me it's like I've never heard explosions like this when the ball hits the ground from a guard, which is really what Cedric is, in my opinion. So when I spoke to him, he said, "You embarrassed me, coach," and I felt terrible. And then he said, no, you embarrassed me because I let myself forget about the importance of athleticism and focus so much on my skill game, I forgot to be an athlete. And then when he jumped 38.5 inches in the combine and also did really well on speed and quickness tests, forget about the physical stuff, it goes without saying. That's when I realized, okay, he's probably the best prospect in the draft, but you can't not take Cooper Flagg number 1, which is why I put him at number 2.
Okay, what do you think changed so dramatically beyond I started to try to be a skillful player, but I had to remember that I do. Like, do you think there was a drastic improvement in athleticism, or that it was just completely untapped when you first saw him?
That's a great question. I don't know the full answer because I didn't really watch anything from Eastern Washington, but I did speak to NBA scouts who told me stories of, like, we saw him as a freshman get a tip dunk on this or get a breakout steal dunk on that. So that told me he had some athleticism when he was younger, and I just don't think he valued it. I also think, listen, guys, I saw Mari Stoudemire when he was in high school look as bland and normal as you could look. 1 year later, he was competing for Rookie of the Year and then won Rookie of the Year. I saw him as a high school senior stink up the joint because he was bored out of his mind. I think Cedric was playing with his food and didn't even realize he was that good. So you asked the question. I think the answer is not anything I did. I think he was going to the pre-draft a year ago, working out for teams, seeing all these talented guys around him and realizing I can be better than these guys. I just kind of gave him a little maybe keyhole to follow, go through, Okay. But I also think he's super competitive and recognized, man, I can do everything these guys are doing. And as I wrote in the article, and you may be aware of it, the guy's made over 72% of his field goals for his 2-point shots. People don't do that against the air. And this guy did it in over 2 years and 6 games of college. I don't care if it's D1, low level, mid level. It's just, no one does that. That tells me there's an understanding of what a good shot is. It's very hard to learn how to play this game. The skills are one thing, which he has. But Jalen Green has skills too. He can't play the game yet. He's gotten better. The guy that was in Houston, now in Phoenix. He doesn't know how to play the game yet. Cedric clearly has a feel for the game of what a good shot is, and then the ability to make it, which is a whole separate issue. He's got both. So combine that with athleticism, the freak size. He's got a swagger. He's got a maturity. I mean, if the guy had gone to Duke as a freshman, I mean, he would have been a top 2 pick in this draft. There's no doubt in my mind.
Let's talk about some of the knocks, right? All right, and you just hit them one by one. Level of competition.
Did you ever see Damian Lillard and John Morant's competition? Like, who cares? I really don't care. It'd be different if he averaged 9 points a game for 3 years against average players. But again, 72%, 40% from 3. He scored, I think, 30 against Northern Colorado that won like 25 games. You know what? The ACC sucked this year. Are we penalizing Cooper Flagg for that? No, nor should we.
Right.
All right? College is mostly a game played by men, professional men. And he did this very well. You can knock it. He didn't go number 1 probably because of number 2 or number 3. Well, the Rutgers guys lost their games against good competition. You don't see me penalizing those guys.
Yeah.
So I don't really care about that.
Okay, the second thing is nobody had this kid this high on any of the mock drafts until we really got to the combine, right? In fact, as you mentioned, he was going to go to Duke, right? And so is it one of these combine warriors? Oh, he interviewed great. There's no question he's got a great head on his shoulders and is a great interview. And then he had all of these crazy measurables. And so how can a guy, should you beware of a guy that rises that late in the process?
So let me, forgive me for sounding like an old man. I am an old man. But forgive me for sounding like a cranky one. I'm not typically very cranky. The mock draft sites and the writers typically have literally no idea what they are doing other than getting people to click. Okay, that's their job. I'm friendly with many of them. Yep. But they don't know anything about the NBA, nor do NBA teams or should NBA teams pay attention to any of these things until very, very late in the game, right? Just like they shouldn't be listening to these college guys who are giving us the best available player for a league they know nothing about, okay? This is just the reality of it. Ask your team GM if he really cares what those mock drafts guys wrote, because I heard he was trading up as high as he needed to get Cedric, right? He was thinking, that's a smart GM. Because the reality is this, Chris.
You don't think Portland's the first team you think they tried even earlier than Portland?
I am certain of it.
Oh, wow.
I'm certain of it, yeah.
That's how aggressive they were. They were right. Until they could find somebody that would give up their pick to grab the guy.
Well, to be fair, I don't know that he didn't. Maybe they had a deal at 5 or 7 or 9 and said, you know what, we don't have to be that aggressive. I have no knowledge of that. I probably will find out.
Yeah.
But this is what you do: is where can I get, and then can I scale back? That's just smart GMing, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But if you go through these drafts, guys, start maybe a couple years ago. So you give everyone drafted a couple years, like maybe start with the Paolo draft. If you can find 4 or 5 game changers, you've done a good job, okay? I think Aaron Nesmith was a game changer. He only led the NBA playoffs in three-point shooting and played incredible defense for the most of the Knicks series. So he's probably Peyton Pritchard's a game changer. So if we can start with that level, Andrew Nembhard this year, game changer. You're lucky to find 4 or 5. I'm sorry, guys. Go through this draft. If you think there's 4 or 5 guys more likely to be game changers than Cedric, sell me on it, because I've looked at all of them and don't see it. Okay? I think I found one year where there were 8 guys. It was really an amazing draft. That's pretty rare, okay, to have that many. So if you're a GM, you're looking for the game changers. If you can't get one, and you may not be able to get one for lots of different reasons, or they get someone to make sure that can play a rotation for you and all of that. To me, Cedric has a chance to be a high-level game changer.
One of the things you in that article, and I've heard you bring this up about him, is interesting when we're talking about comps for a guy. and you threw out Cade Cunningham, who, I mean, Cade Cunningham is a primary ball handler, point guard, right?
Amazing. He's amazing.
You think this guy can be like a primary ball handler?
Yes, I think so. Take away Memphis for a second. Just think, generally speaking, if I was running a team, I would make sure he gets lots of opportunities to absolutely suck as the primary ball handler and let him learn. Like
we just did it with Bane for 2 years.
Yeah, true. I'm a huge fan of Bane.
Hey,
There's no other way to succeed than to fail first and learn. That doesn't mean you can't also play him next to someone else. I mean, the Pistons had Ivy before he got hurt, along with Cade. Brunson started off next to Luka. Harden started off next to all those Hall of Famers in OKC. I don't mind you learning as an off-ball player, but he has primary point guard. If you watched him play at Washington State, only because those players didn't realize they were playing with a potential all-NBA level player, because those guys, hey, all these NBA guys are here to watch Cedric, but I think I can do my thing too. Used to drive me a little crazy watching those guys play some. And I get it. That's how college can be sometimes. But he's got it. He's got that ability. He can really pass. And again, I point to 72%. Like, the guy doesn't take bad shots, or he's the greatest shooter of all time. If you can make 70% of your shots and you have bad shot selection, well, you're the best shooter of all time, including Curry. So let's assume that's not the case. He's just a very good shooter finisher. No, he plays the right way. That's a decision maker. And I would argue this: when you can make decisions like that on offense, you also have the fast processing brain, the Draymond Green brain, defensively. Okay? So, because I think he can be an elite defender. So, in theory, for your team now, you've got John, Triple J, obviously. Let him be one of your primary wing defenders. Let him learn the game. Hey, young man, don't screw up the offense. Don't get in anyone's way. Take good shots. Become a good defender, which is going to take some time. It's very hard to do it in year one as a rookie. Few do, but maybe he will. He has the length and the mind for it. Be in great shape so you can play 30-plus minutes a night when we need you. And we'll work you in towards what we think you can become, which is a high-level all-star player. At least one executive I know for a fact said he's an all-star. I had another executive tell a source that is absolutely impeccable, like he's Kobe Jordan. Like, he's that good. This is not me talking.
Come on.
I wrote it in the article, Chris. This is an executive with rings, okay? With rings as both player / coach, whatever he got, I'm not going to say. But not just one ring. Kobe Jordan, he's that good. His footwork in the post, his footwork on the perimeter, his shot is beautiful. As someone who teaches shooting for a living, everyone shoots kind of differently. I don't really care if you have bad form. Remember, Kevin Martin was like my son. So I don't really care. As long as the ball goes in, I'm good. We can clean up little things. His shot, I saw him in person. His shot is beautiful. He's got to get a lot better. When I read about what he's got to work on, it makes me laugh, Chris. Okay? I tell players, it's 4 years minimum. If you played 4 years of college, you got 4 years before you become an elite ball handler. End of story. And that's only if you played 3 or 4 years of college and dribbled a lot. It's really hard to do.
Yeah, that's one. You know what? I want to stop on this because you and I had this conversation one time, and I asked you, when I was talking about players in the draft, I said, can the guy dribble? I said, we just got exposed against Oklahoma City as they exposed everybody all season and along the way, right? Like, can the guy dribble under duress? And your answer to me was, nobody can dribble under duress, Chris. There's like 5 guys. Like, people can't dribble.
It takes years.
Yes.
So as someone who watched the finals very closely, try watching Andrew Nembhard, who was phenomenal in the playoffs 2 years in a row, really, but this year especially with the ball, and then go watch him play at Gonzaga, where he was a very good player, 6th man of the year, started in the national championship game, all of that. It's night and day. It's JV versus varsity. And he's in year 4, and he's 25. Mm-hmm. It's hard. That's why OKC plays the way they play.
Right.
It's just so everyone in the draft has to get better ball handling. Jeremiah Fears, name the guard. Cam Jones, who hasn't been drafted yet, all of them have to get better. The question is, what's their work ethic like? What's their humility, right? You want to be confident, but also recognizing I'm not there yet. I've got to put in the time. And so, knowing Cedric a little bit, I think he's going to be one of those guys that's going to live in the gym because he wants to live up to what his potential is, which is, all NBA level player.
Do you feel like you are going harder on this prospect than you have? Look, I've known you for the better part over a decade now. Yeah. I've never heard you go to bat for a prospect like you did. And look, it's just by happenstance. Thank God he ends up in Memphis so I get to talk to you about him. You could very well be on a show in Portland today or wherever else, right? But your opinion wouldn't change about Cedric Coward based upon him getting drafted to Memphis or Portland or anywhere else, right? But I'm so fascinated as to why him in particular, because you evaluate players and watch film and go through drafts every single year. Why him have you gone so to bat for as compared to other guys in the past, to the point where nobody is saying what you're saying, which is that he should be the second player selected in this draft, right? You are on an island with him in a way that I can't remember you being on an island with a prospect.
Well, you don't remember because Memphis didn't draft the player. But the last time I was like this, my son was a freshman at Florida State, and one of his fellow freshman teammates was Scotty Barnes. So I had a chance to watch Scotty a lot. It was a COVID year, but I was able to watch on film and practice. Of course, I watched all their games. I talked to my son every day. He's got a very high basketball IQ. And when I did the rankings that year, I had Mobley number 1 and Barnes number 2 and Cunningham number 3. And as I wrote this yesterday, maybe I'm wrong. Cade Cunningham is just fabulous. Yeah. Who cares? But any of those three are all NBA level.
You're happy with any of them.
So, but I was extraordinarily high on Scotty Barnes as a real game changer for a franchise. And that's how I feel about Cedric. Is he's just got that same kind of upside, and your guy clearly sees it, and I know for a fact so do some other executives that would have done anything they could to get him. They just couldn't get up high enough to get him.
Do you think he plays as a rookie?
I think he has a chance to start.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean, listen. What do I know about free agency? If they bring in a better player than Cedric, of which there are many NBA veterans that are better than Cedric right now, he's a rookie, and he hasn't played in over almost a year now. Well, not quite a year, but 8 months.
Yep.
Absolutely, they could find someone better than him and then bring him off the bench. I'm not even suggesting what's smart. You just got to play him. But I think your GM is very bright. They're going to play this young man. Let him fail. Let him learn on the fly. And I like the pressure of having to win because of who he's playing with, to make him take it more seriously, as opposed to a team that's just trying to tank. I don't think that. I've never.
You think it's a better fit for him to be here than if he would have gone to Washington or if he would have gone to a rebuild?
I think yes, but also because of the hole you have with Desmond being traded. I think he fills that slot differently, but ably as a rookie anyway. He won't be as good as Desmond. I'd be shocked if he was as good as Desmond was this year. What rookie is? It's almost so rare to see.
Yeah, sure. You can't expect a guy to average 20 points a game and shoot 40% from three.
Right. But I think that you're going to see what the Raptors saw in Scotty Barnes the second half of his rookie season. Like, oh, okay. We like what we have here. It took Mobley a bit before people realized, this dude's a Hall of Fame level talent, certainly an all-star NBA player. I think Cedric's going to show enough people this year where Memphis can realize, okay, he's somewhere we really build. We basically have our big three, which is hard to get, but that's what they have now. They have three legit guys that are all-star level players and better. Ja's got work to do, obviously.
Yep.
Triple J's got to get better. He's already pretty special as is. They both are. I think Cedric is a beautiful compliment to both of those guys.
And you think he can defend at the NBA level as well?
Well,
I mean, obviously the 7'2" wingspan is the 7'2" wingspan.
That's why I like him. The way the NBA is, guys, you have to have, if you have the high-level scoring guard, it's unlikely he can really play great defense. And if he can, you don't want him to too much because it's really hard to score on offense because you're going against the other team's best defender. You have to have the other dude that can guard the defense. So Tyrese has to have Nembhard, right? Shea has to have Wallace and Caruso and Dort. That has to happen. So as you put a team together, you have to build that way. And so, I think Cedric defensively is going to draw a lot. Well, Jalen Wells probably too. A lot of the better scores, but I think Cedric can guard down a little bit, and he can guard up even to some smaller fours without doubt with that wingspan. Yeah, and he's agile enough and fast and quick, and he processes super fast.
Look, we're going to meet the kid for the first time tomorrow. The interviews, that's one of the things we haven't talked about is just as a kid. The interviews are unbelievable. And you mentioned that in your article. It's
he's like a CEO. He's like an executive. He has that. I grew up a Jewish kid from my dad was an attorney. I've been around some smart people in my life. They sound like Cedric. The way he talks, he's measured. What I like about Cedric, the few times I've really had a chance to speak to him, is he was a terrific listener. And I think he's going to bond really well with the veterans on your team. Not that they're so old, because they're not. What he needs to do, and this is the culture you guys have to put together, not you, but the franchise, is they've got to let him blossom. If it turns out to be, if he's better than John Triple J, they should be happy. Right? That, to me, that's a really important thing. When Siakam got to Indiana, there was never butting heads over who's going to be the guy, even though Siakam clearly was a better player. Tyrese was young. Whereas in Toronto, they kind of set up a hierarchy where it was like Barnes versus Siakam. It made no sense. Those guys should have been amazing together. So if it turns out Cedric doesn't get as good as those guys, but you give him a chance to, fine. But he might be better than that, and they need to be accepting it because they'll just win more games that way.
Well, and that's the thing. That's the thing I think you always worry about with any rookies that come in. We just went through it, Coach Thorpe, this past year, right, where it was like 2 years ago was the down year and everybody got injured. And we got super excited about Vince Williams and Gigi Jackson. And they both had, like, monster games and when we weren't winning anything. And then Vince never came back, was a shell of himself post-injury, and Gigi Jackson couldn't figure out how to blend in with the rest. It is very difficult for any of these young guys to come in and then understand where they are in the pecking order and being the best version of that, right? Like, that is the brilliance of Jalen Wells, a guy that was willing and able to star in his role, right? If he took 6 shots tomorrow night, that's fine. If he took 12 shots tomorrow night, that's fine too. If he took 4, that's fine. But, bro, you don't get to take more shots than John Morant and Jaren Jackson and Desmond Bane. And a lot of guys have a very difficult time fitting into that. I guess that my question is, do you look at Coward as a guy who was the man, right? Like, obviously, even in the 6 games that he was playing at Washington State, but is a guy that's malleable enough to come in and be – you're like, right, every NBA team has stars and role players, right? And you're not going to be a star right off the bat. Can you function without being a star?
Yeah, it's a great way to phrase it. That's why I look at that 72% from the field. This is someone that really knows how to play. And it's not like he shot it a bunch. Like I said, if he was a bad shot selector and shooting like that, he's the best shooter ever. I think he fits in really good with that. And he's got the kind of game where he's not going to get those other guys worse because he's not a chucker, which, like, Cam Thomas would be a problem with John Morant. I like Cam Thomas, but he's going to shoot that thing a lot. Same as Jordan Clarkson from years ago. Those guys are chuckers, right? I don't see Coward as that at all. I think my advice to young players always is 3 things. Be in amazing shape, play defense, don't screw up the beautiful offense your coach is trying to install. That's it. When guys that I work with get drafted or are rookies and come hire me, we sit down at dinner. I'm no genius. Those are the 3 things we set out. But like penicillin, give it time, it always works. Play defense, be in great shape, don't screw up the coach's beautiful offense. It seems simple. It's hard to do because egos get involved and complacency. I don't get the impression he's going to be that way. And I also think your guy, your GM, who's got ownership of this, isn't going to let him fail. And I think that's a super important point too. Is this kid has all-star talent plus. Make sure you build a system to allow that to grow and not at the expense of Ja and Triple J. There's no need for that. He's good enough where he can fit in. And again, look at Brunson and Harden too. There's lots of examples, guys. They learn how to play and fit in and win, and then they get an opportunity, whether it's the same team or a different team. In the case of Brunson and Harden, different teams, they became something nobody ever imagined they would become.
Oh, Gilgeous-Alexander as well.
Correct. Well, that's exactly right.
Just became the MVP, right? Like, early in their careers, Harden, Brunson, Gilgeous-Alexander, if you would have asked anybody in their after year 2, if I'd have told you that guy's going to be the MVP of the league one day, you'd have thought, you're nuts. You're nuts.
Halliburton, too. Tyrese also.
Fair.
So here's the point, Chris. All those guys had to change teams. So to me, the real challenge and I think it's going to happen, I think the guy who moves up to get Cedric Coward when people thought maybe you shouldn't, although, I mean, he's not going to get it to 16. So if you draft him at 16, probably no one bats an eye anyway. You want to make sure you get him, and I think he was very smart to do it. You don't want to have to see him go blossom somewhere else. You want to make sure you build out that runway, let him impact winning early, and then move into the place where, okay, we got 3 potential all-stars. Because guess what? If you got 3 all-stars on a team, you're winning 55-plus games almost for sure, and you're contending for titles, which is the goal. It's why you moved up to get them in the first place.
Here's a big money question. Look, the NBA's gotten a lot smarter over the course. You would agree, right?
Yep.
Like in terms of the teams and the front offices, et cetera, over the course of the past decade. Certainly, there's not nearly as much goofy stuff that goes on as there was 10, 20 years ago. The Pelicans trading up, notwithstanding.
And then Portland drafting a guy that probably can't play in the NBA. He's the Chinese Zach Edey and not nearly as good.
Okay.
But that's a whole separate conversation.
Oh, God. All right, so...
Chinese Zach Edey.
You didn't see his highlights, though, David? He was cooking in those highlights.
Trust me, guys. He's a long, long way from in this league. It's not like Zach Edey's an all-star next year, the next couple of years, and he was much better than Son was at that age.
So you're saying the Chinese Jokic, Marc Gasol comps are wrong?
Capital W. Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, notwithstanding, there have been a lot of smarter teams. So the question then becomes, Thorpe, how did we get this guy at 11 then?
Ooh, great question. Guys want to keep their jobs. GMs pay, the salaries are big. Some of us chose to do a different route because we value different things. My wife has never complained about me because I had opportunities to do it. You could probably guess some places where, Chris, if you wanted to. But it's a fat check, and a lot of guys don't want to take the chance of not having it because in their minds, drafting a player that fails is how you get fired. I argue, and I may have heard you say before I came on, something Zach said, I argue it's missing the star that you could have had is what probably should cost you your job. But it doesn't. No one ever looks back and say, how did you not draft this guy or this guy? And again, remember this. I think most players are the same. I think there's 4 or 5 game changers in most drafts. The rest of the guys are all about the same. How's your player development program, right? How is your culture developing these guys to reach their potential? I would argue OKC is running laps around everybody else. Okay?
How?
I think they have a better shooting coach, who I don't even know, but Chip Henglin's well known for it. They let their players play. They play a lot of guys. Remember, fellas, AJ Mitchell, who barely played in the playoffs because he was coming off an injury for 3 minutes, he was outplaying Caruso to start the season. He was getting more minutes than Caruso as a second-round pick, number 38 in the draft, on a two-way and getting in games before Caruso. So Dagnall gave him a chance. So trust me, they'll plug and play him next year. If they lose someone in trades or free agency or injury, they just got more guys coming. And I don't think the rest of the league, I don't think there's a single team's caught up to that. Although people have told me, because I didn't follow Memphis as much this year, that you guys had some things happening. Obviously, you've made some big changes with your coaching staff, so we'll see. But you got to develop a bunch of your guys that you draft. And then you got to be lucky enough to get a guy that has a chance to be an all-star and then help him be one. Most of the guys drafted last night have no chance to be all-stars. They can be good players, and there's value to that.
So you look at it and you say, this is a risk, and if you would have taken him even higher than it's obviously, look, there's some people that think like you went too high to Memphis, right? Memphis traded up to get him. I've been actually very impressed that people did not react to where this kid was in the mock draft. No mock draft had that kid going that high. And yet, the response to him going that high has not been negative. In fact, it's been positive. So it's a little odd because most people react to whatever they've seen in these mock drafts for so long. They say, oh, that's too high for this guy. That's too low for that guy. And so, but you would say that it is, everybody knows there is a risk, right? Because he's not as well known and there's not as much tape, et cetera, as many of his peers. He didn't play on the higher level, but by virtue of these mock drafts, that if the mock drafts would have had him very high, then he would have gone very high. But the mock drafts didn't have him that high, and that's probably why he was still even available at 11.
So I heard two things. I don't know. I heard when he worked out, he did a pro day at Duke. I don't know who said this, but I think it was Shire and maybe an assistant, or maybe it was just the assistant, made a comment after watching him for 10 minutes or so, he's gone. This guy is he's not going to be in college basketball next year when you see what he can do. I've witnessed it myself. I didn't run the workout. I watched it, and it's breathtaking. He's the best 21-year-old I've ever seen shoot the ball that wasn't already in the NBA. And he can do so much more than that. The other thing is
the best 21-year-old you've ever seen shoot the ball?
Yeah. And I've coached countless 40% three-point shooters in the NBA. None of them were 21. And I've been doing this. I've been doing 30 years, 23 now with the NBA. The NBA players. My first drafted players were in '99. They weren't great shooters though. They both got drafted. Bootsy Thornton and Chris Carrawell, my first two guys ever get drafted. They couldn't shoot.
Chris Carrawell's a St. Louis guy.
Yeah, from Cardinal Ritter.
He was playing when I was in high school.
He was a McDonald's All-American. He's coached at Duke now.
Also was ACC Player of the Year.
Yeah. He came to my gym after that season. He was a senior at Duke, and he came and trained in Clearwater. In fact, he had dinner at my house with my wife and I. Before we had kids even. He coaches at Duke now. Yeah, he's been at Duke for a long time. Yeah. Where he played. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I think that I don't think it's hard to evaluate Cooper Flagg and some of these guys that have always been the best in their class, like the kids from Rutgers, for example. I just don't think it's hard to evaluate those guys. I think it's harder to do what your GM did to decide this guy is the guy, because there isn't the same kind of data. But that's where talent comes in as an executive. If you have to watch these guys 3 times in your workouts and 55 times in person in practice and in games, I mean, I just don't think that's hard to do. Anyone can do it. If you want to be talented as an executive, well, then when the data isn't really there and you still say this is the guy, and then you build the culture and the climate to help them get there, then you're an executive above and beyond everybody else.
Well, and then how many times have we looked at it in the past, as you mentioned, right? Like whether it's there's a whole lot of teams that passed on Giannis, a whole lot of teams passed on Kawhi Leonard, a lot of guys passed on you. Yeah, right. There's a whole lot of players that are the best players in the NBA, Jimmy Butler, all down the line, that a whole lot of teams passed on. And so, look, if there was only 10 teams, right, that I guess passed, or 11 teams that passed on him before Memphis was able to get him. Last thing, anybody else that you're so high on this guy, obviously you had to pay attention a lot to this draft. Is there anybody else that you were super enamored with that got drafted last night?
Well, I went to Florida, but I don't really have an affinity to any one school anymore. But I've been around enough. I mean, I've sent players from my high school team to college and went to the Final Four. I've never seen anyone have the kind of run in the postseason Walter Clayton Jr. had, starting with, I just look at it this way. The SEC was the best conference of all time this past year. That's what the metrics say anyway. I went to Nashville for the first time in forever to go to a tournament, a conference tournament, maybe in a decade. And basically, I thought I was watching a professional basketball tournament. The walk-ons were huge. I'm not joking. Huge. All these teams. These guys came out ripped, jacked. The walk-ons.
That Auburn team was 25 years old. It's ridiculous.
Right. And for Florida to be second in the SEC for the season, and then to win what they had to do to win the Nashville tournament is better than almost any NCAA tournament run ever had to do. Oh yeah, and then you had to be 2 1 seeds in the Final Four, and the defending national champs, right? So what Walter Clayton did, he wasn't by himself. I was really happy for him. My son played against him in high school. It wasn't so much when he was young, but
who do you think he can be? Talent. Is there somebody that Clayton reminds you of?
There's a few guys. He's a lot like a Jordan Clarkson. He can really score.
Yeah.
He's better with the ball. He can really score. He can really shoot. I don't know how he'll defend. But I just want him to have a chance. Unfortunately, Utah has enough guys that can shoot and can't defend. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. Their whole backcourt, except for Collier, who I think actually he was terrible in defense last year. But I think he has a chance to be a good defender. He's strong as heck. Kind of built like some of those strong, like Lowry types. And then, there was really no one. I got to think about I like Derek Queen a lot, although people tell me I'm wrong, that physically he's just a mess. You know what? So is Paul Millsap. So is Jokic.
You think there's a place for the Derek Queens in this NBA? That's the thing I'm worried about.
Şengün, Jokic. You know what his high school coach called him? Black Jokic. That's the guy at Montverde that has more draft picks than Kentucky. Okay, he had more draft picks last night in the first round than Duke did. So I got to give Kevin Wallace some credit as to understanding what NBA guys look like. I was.
It's
super
funny you
impressed.
say that because you know his college coach, Kevin Willard, had that quote that was going around yesterday. If he was white and European, he'd go in the top 5.
Yeah, I don't think he's right about that.
I didn't
think
either.
if he was,
I seen that, and that seemed a little far.
I think if he was 30 pounds lighter, he might have gone in the top 5. And I don't mean just in the draft. I mean when he was going through his freshman season at Maryland. But he was pretty special.
New Orleans not a great place to go if you like to eat.
No, that's true. You're
not
right
a
on
great
that.
place.
Yeah.
Him and Zion are going to be a hell of a tag team.
And then I know you love this kid because I saw some of your show yesterday. It's the draft tonight. There's a few guys I like tonight, but man, if you watch Florida play, any Gator fan would tell you.
Oh,
Elijah
you're going to
Martin.
talk Martin?
Yeah, he's
God.
Winner.
Do you think there's any chance he drops to where do we have?
We're 48.
48.
He ain't making it to 48, is he, Thorpe?
Not based on my knowledge, no. He ain't getting past early 40s, yeah. But go get him. If you guys were smart, I mean, there's plenty of teams. I think he just. Yeah,
I made my opinion clear. That's a kid I fell in love with.
Right, I heard you. Yeah,
he's crazy.
He is
it's crazy.
vicious competitor.
I mean, to be a starter on 2 different Final Four teams.
Yeah.
And he dunked on the whole Auburn team.
Yeah.
And as we just chronicled, they were all 25. So,
right.
And by the way, the dunk that we played it yesterday, the crazy part was, like, we had watched the highlight a bunch of times. I said, look at the score. It was 66-63.
Yeah.
In the Final Four, and he dunked on the whole team.
He had a more iconic dunk than that in the Texas Tech game. That's going to be like in the O'Connell Center where they play. The camera's at a certain angle. He just soared almost like Jordan did. He left early and still did it. But let me tell you my favorite story about him. This is public. When they won the SEC championship, I saw this zip file of all these pictures of all the Gator players, including staff and walk-ons, when they were like in middle school and high school. And I didn't really know much about it, but I since discovered, again, it was Yahoo or someone caught it. He stayed up all night one night and found all these pictures of all these guys when they were just dreaming of college one day, including Todd Golden and his whole staff, and sent it to everyone in the organization and said, we won the SEC. Nobody cares. We're the underdogs. Let's bring that fight. This is who we are. Like, this dude is a special teammate.
What?
And I talked to some Gator guys in Nashville. This guy is as selfless as you get and unafraid of anybody. Because look at him.
Yeah.
6'7" wingspan. He's got the same standing reach as dudes like, I think, McNeely, I think it is.
Yeah, 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah. Like, he's just, the Alabama coach told me flat out, and I'm happy to say this publicly. Coach Oates told me, because my son was the GA there last year, if Elijah Martin comes to us, we're the natty champs. Because they were men, him and Clayton in the backcourt. He's like, we had LeBaron Filan and Mark Sears. Nothing against Sears, who's a tremendous college player. Filan was a freshman. Against those two cats, who are both football quarterbacks, it was man versus boys. That's how Martin is. And he picks up full court, just like OKC and Indiana did. He picked up 94 feet, whatever the college length is, all season, and was like in it all the time. He is an on-ball phenom. Not a steal magnet necessarily, unless you ask him to be. Lockdown guy. And again, just watch the NBA playoffs and recognize the value of that. Right.
Yeah.
Well,
is there anybody else in the – oh, look, the Grizzlies do have 2 picks in the second round. I'm just interested. Is there anybody else that you love that hasn't been drafted yet?
You know what?
You mentioned my guy. You mentioned my guy Cam. Do you like Cam?
Oh, I do. I didn't watch him enough.
From Marquette?
I did watch him some. I like him a lot. I think he's going to get drafted. You guys may take him at 48. He might be around there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've not studied the second round a whole lot. I just think you got to draft defenders unless you're a really gifted shooter, passer, rebounder, some really good skill. You have to draft on-ball defenders because there's not enough of them. OKC had like 5 or 6. Some of them didn't even get in the game. Indiana had 1.5 with Nembhard and Neesmith.
By the time we got to the playoffs, we had 1. Scottie Pippen.
Pippen Jr. Yeah,
that was it.
Yeah,
because Jalen Wells was out. We had 1.
Right. You have to have 4 or 5 guys, and you can just rotate them, just like Indiana tried to do and OKC did. And so anyone that can do that, to me, has a chance if they can not screw up the offense on the other end.
Gotcha. Coach Thorpe, you're the best. I kept you way too long. I'm sorry, buddy.
No worries. Best of luck tonight, guys.
My man. Thank you, bub. Coach David Thorpe. All right. You guys heard what he had to say about Cedric Coward.
He's the absolute best because
he is the best.
I feel like you always said when
you always learn something.
Yeah, when Hubie was the coach here, you always learned something from. I feel like I always learned something about.
Yeah, he was spitting bars, bro. The competition thing, I love that. That's part of the thing I didn't think about, like the Jaws of the world, the Damian Lillards of the world. Like nobody ever talked about competition with them.
Yep.
Why we doing what's said. I like that a lot. But yeah, I'm thinking about some other stuff. He said a starter. I was like, woo.
He thinks he can be a huge star.
I said,
yeah, he thinks he can be a big.
He thinks he can be an NBA All-Star.
He held back. He did hold back a little bit because he does. He thinks he can be a big star. He thinks he's like an all-NBA. He can be an all-NBA level player.
How long will it take him to be a star? Because last night, when Kleiman said last night that Ja and Jaren are still young, I said, no, they're not. They're 25 and 26 years old. SGA just won a title at age 26. So it's like, how long will it take this dude to get to where he, not even all the way potential, but like even halfway there?
But in year 3, is he awesome? And I also thought the other thing that was super interesting, because I had not thought about this before, and he was saying, being able to fit in, and he said he mentioned those 3 guys that needed to move teams to get their chance. And so you try to, but that he's confident they'll let him fulfill destiny here. And you think about those guys, whether it is Gilgeous-Alexander or it is James Harden or it is
Bronson,
J-Lo, and they were all fit-in guys. Yeah. But if you would have ever, in a million years, thought these guys are going to be MVP, top 10 players in the league, like what?
Yeah.
No way. But they did all have to fit in at the beginning.
Yeah. I think he has a temperament, too, to fit into. Like, he seems like a dude that ain't one of those, I'm going to come in and take over type of vibe.
No.
He's like, yo, Ja Jan.
You mean he's not Ace Bailey?
My guy tweaking, bro.
Ace Bailey's headed on plane to Utah.
Yeah.
Danny Ainge does not give a crap.
You see the photos of him? He's holding his hat.
Bro,
he's going to be in hell.
Tony and Marcus Smart both told me stories of how they would be at practice and Danny Ainge would walk in and they'd be like, hey, Danny. And they'd be like, how's it going? He'd be like, just trying to find somebody better than you. All the time. He just he doesn't care.
You're a number on a spreadsheet to
He doesn't care, bro.
Yeah. What can I get for you eventually? How do I make this team better? And if it means moving you to make them better, I'll move you to make them better.
That's right. Hey, how do you think Ace Bailey's going to respond to that?
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be hilarious.
He's going to be like, trade me then. Please, trade me now.
Get rid of
Do
me.
it.
Hey, I was not going to feel bad for him because, bro, he was like, I didn't work out for them. Well, you don't work out for anybody, bro.
Yeah, you didn't work out for anybody.
Like, he's like, I was surprised by the pick. By the way, whatever happened to the phone calls? Remember they used to get phone calls at the draft?
They're there.
It's just like an NFL thing?
Yeah, they're there. NFL players are. I mean, I guess they are there. I guess they are there.
Yeah, because it's all right. Because the green room is not the green room. The green room is the stage at the NBA.
Right.
Okay.
The NBA draft. You see, they're in front of the stage.
You see somebody get the phone, pick up the phone, like, yo, you're about to get picked. Then David Stern walk up to the stage.
Yeah. That Chinese guy walking to the
he was in the stage.
Out of the stage.
He said me. You said my name.
How about that? How about that shot that Thorpe? I will say this:
he can't play in the NBA.
No, here's the thing too.
That's tough.
It makes me feel at least positive that we're not going to look back and go, oh, God, who was drafted 16th?
Right.
That was our pick.
Right. We should have got the tall
guy.
guy.
I was super glad that they drafted the huge Chinese guy that's not going to end up being some kind of Hall of Famer, right? Like if they would have taken like somebody else, there's like that fear that, oh, God, this is going to be the Trey Murphy thing all over again.
Yeah, but they took
right?
They took this
no,
guy.
This guy is not.
There's no chance.
Right? Yeah,
he was confused that he got picked.
The next Papagiannis or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, he was there for the vibes, and the Portland Trailblazers said his name. He's like, wait, I was just here. And he's walking down. You saw his highlights are crazy though. Like it's like Lil Tykes.
The passing is
like Lil Tykes, bro. But he's not gonna be good though. Right. But no, I am like I'm cautiously worried, bro. Cautiously. Very. I don't know why. I'm usually not that worried. But in this moment I am.
What are you worried about?
I just want to see there's a lot of meat on the bone right now, bro. Like, what is the next move? Like in like
we haven't even gotten to free agency.
I know, but like
you can. How about this? Do me a favor. Worry when we're about to go to training camp.
Okay. Yeah.
Worry after free agency.
Okay, I'll worry.
How about that? That's when you're allowed to worry.
Because I'm like listening to the quotes. It's like like don't say like, oh, John, Jaren are young, or like we're not one player away. It's like, oh my God, no, don't do this. Don't like we got said like, yeah, that's our guy, but like, is that going to be the high this offseason?
Well, you just saw they traded Desmond Bain, so I mean, obviously they still have to attain their third best player. That's still left. And again, wait until we get to free agency.
I'm usually the guy that's like, everything's going to be fine.
If we get out of free agency, and this roster looks like it does today,
then I can freak out.
Yes.
Okay. I said cautiously optimistic, not like super scared, but like just a little. There's a little thought. I'm like, okay, I don't want this to be the high of the offseason.
No, there's more. They've got more stuff to do.
Like, give me a wing, that's played in the NBA, and give me a center that's played in the NBA, and I'll be riding.
Would you take Finney Smith and Looney?
Hell yeah, or PJ and Looney, or even Clint Capella and Looney, or even keep naming centers. Keep naming vet centers. Just give me a big.
Who is that guy that they went after? How about Grant Williams? You like Grant Williams?
I'll take Grant Williams. He's annoying as hell, but I'll take him.
He is annoying as hell. He's coming off an ACL, isn't he?
I think he is.
He'd fit right in.
Come on, bro.
What? Come on. All right, take a quick break and we'll come back after this Chris Vernon Show.
It's time for our Pick Six, Mike. 6 classics that we're most looking forward to in the 2025 football season.
Las Vegas, obviously, that's the Grambling State University, Jackson State University clash. They're taking 2 iconic HBCU brands going to an NFL stadium in Las Vegas.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, 1 exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger buzzer beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
You've seen the Grizz line jamming on the court and rocking out on Beale Street, and this is your chance to join the best drum line in the NBA. Grizz line entertains Grizz Nation at home games and events in the Mid-South through their impressive techniques and energetic shows. If you have experience in drumming and marching and love entertaining, Grizz line is the perfect opportunity for you to combine percussion and performance. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Sign up today by visiting grizzlies.com/auditions.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With very special guest, Daughtry. And Mammoth. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Don't miss Creed with Daughtry and Mammoth. The Summer of '99 tour.
The Tigers are going to play in November in the Bahamas, the Baha Mar tournament, and the other teams expected to be there. Purdue, Wake Forest, and possibly Texas Tech. So Texas Tech's going to be good. Purdue's going to be good. If you don't have a roster that puts you in that same conversation, that could be a tough trip to the Bahamas.
Yep.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit Shinedown.com.
1, 2, 3. Ready, go.
The Grizzlies, grannies, and grandpas have the right moves and are currently looking for new members to join their team for the upcoming season. These soulful seniors are a fan favorite group throughout Grizz Nation. You do not have to be a grandparent, but you must be at least 50 years old with personality, rhythm, and passion for performing. If that sounds like you, then we want to see you on Sunday, June 29th. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information. Have you always dreamed of entertaining on the biggest stage in Memphis? The Claw Crew is looking for members to join their team for the 2025-2026 season. Claw Crew members are hardworking, high-energy entertainers who assist Grizzlies home games by hyping up the crowd and much more. Not only do they support the Grizzlies on home games, but also promote in Memphis and across the Mid-South. Open auditions are Saturday, August 9th at FedEx Forum. Visit grizzlies.com/auditions for more information and to register today.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris
On one morning
Vernon.
bright and clear, my old folks and I drew near, just a village down in sunny Tennessee. I'd been speeding on that train that would bring me back again to that girl I left in sunny Tennessee. I could hear those voices singing as she bid farewell to me. Far across the fields of cotton, my old homestead I could see as the moon rose in its glory. Then I told.
All right, we're back. Chris Vernon Show.
Story.
All right. Now you heard what? Look, you heard what Thorpe had to say about my guy Elijah Martin and perimeter defense, and obviously that's a guy I coveted in the second round. He ain't making it to 48. There'll be a backstop before 48. So
yeah,
I hope not.
Well, the Lakers made a trade. They've moved up from 55 to 45 today
to take Bryce James.
That's what I thought.
He ain't in the draft, bro.
Oh, he's not? That's next year?
He's at Arizona, bro.
That's next year?
That's
after he's one and done after averaging 2.5 points.
That's a Central tweet, by the way. It's a Central tweet.
Is it?
The Lakers.
Did they put that up?
No, but it sounds like something. The Lakers traded up to 45, not realizing that they can't draft Bryce James this year.
Okay, just on what happened last night. Cooper Flagg. All right, I'll try to go through these real fast. You guys stop me if you have any thoughts. Cooper Flagg, then Dylan Harper, then VJ Edgecombe. None of that stuff was surprising. I will say, I reached out to my buddy Chris DeMarco, who's an assistant coach for the Golden State Warriors, who coaches the Bahamas team. I don't think he'd mind me telling you this. And I asked him about Edgecombe. Absolutely loves Edgecombe. He coached him in the Bahamas. He's like, he is a game changer.
So maybe Baylor will finally have an awesome player.
Yeah. I remember watching him at the Olympics.
He loves Edgecombe.
He's the one that jumped off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his story, you see the story he told, he was like, I lived off a generator for 7 years, bro. Like,
yep.
Like those kind of stories are those dudes gonna cry.
Oh, by the way, I passed over this. Dylan Harper's mom became the star of the night. Everybody fell in love with Dylan Harper's mom. Everybody.
Yeah, bro.
Everybody. I mean,
yes, they did.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy how she was the star. I mean,
for good reason, bro.
People were texting me and they're like, she's going to gain 100,000. Did you see the stories today, dude? Then, of course, everybody thought she was beautiful. But then she coached him from K through 12.
Yeah.
Not Ron Harper, her.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said she didn't let him shoot a jump shot until 4th or 5th grade.
She
built the Warriors.
She knows ball.
She knows ball.
I think she works for Nike too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. Then Con Knipple, how much did you love the flying Knipples wearing out that group of black guys on the street
Bro,
court?
that's ridiculous, bro.
The video they played of the flying Knipples.
We're playing 3-on-3 basketball, bro. In 1973 footage.
It was
Grainy
so
ass,
funny as hell.
280p footage.
It looked like white men can't jump.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Apparently, all his brothers have their name starts with a K. By the way.
Yeah, the Knipples.
I thought it was crazy.
Yep.
It's like a Brady Bunch.
Then we already mentioned Ace Bailey, who's super excited to go to Utah.
Oh, he was pissed.
Trey Johnson. I mean, I hope you guys watch him in Texas because you won't see him again for 3 years.
Oh, yeah. He's
Except
off.
when he comes here once a year, you see him for the Wizards.
He's off the map.
Is he the one who had the shorts?
Yeah,
the
my
short
guy with
suit,
the freaky
the
shorts and the
on the
socks.
suit.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah,
that was
Red flag.
One of the worst fits of the night.
Red flag.
Red flag.
Red flag. 7 was Jeremiah Fears.
He looked.
Awesome chains. Zero Fears is a great
That
combo.
jersey finna go platinum, bro.
Fears.
The Zero Fears jersey?
He also carries himself. You can see
You
how
like it?
he's gonna be good.
Yes.
Yeah, he's gonna be.
That's what I'm
He's gonna
saying.
be
He-
good. You can
he
see
got
how he
that
carries
look, bro,
himself.
like-
He's
I
got the
did
look.
listen to a
Like,
I know how
podcast.
cold I
I
am.
did listen to a podcast though.
what he cannot shoot.
They're
Like cannot shoot.
little guards that can't shoot don't have a great track record.
Look, you can.
Hey,
you can-
our guy's good. Our guy's awesome. What are you looking at me for like that?
How dare you? How dare
What did I
you?
say?
Wait, little guy like Yuki?
No, Ja. Ja
you can
can't shoot. Ja can't shoot, and he's awesome.
You can fix a jumper, bro. Yeah, how dare you, asshole?
But this just that's a more of a thing with Fears. Like, dude,
All
he
right,
can still
fix
be
the jump
awesome.
shot. You can fix the jump shot.
Obviously, I was completely out on Yegor Denman as soon as I got the pronunciation guide and realized he is not Igor.
It's Yegor.
He's Yegor.
Oh no, he sucks.
So I don't care.
Yeah, I got no use for you.
If you want to go by Igor, you'll be good. But Yegor,
You ain't feeling
no,
Yegor.
I'm not Yegor.
We also
no.
won't see him ever again.
Yeah, in
Until he
Brooklyn.
comes
Maybe if Megan Triplett tweets it out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Kyler Murray Boyles went to the Toronto Raptors. He went viral for saying the F word after they drafted him, and people were posting it and saying he's a Kendrick fan.
Also, his girl. He's one of the ones that girlfriend
wild.
actually got airtime last night too.
Chloe Kitts is beautiful, bro.
Yeah, his girlfriend's on the South Carolina women's team.
Oh, okay.
Look at you, Rose. You're tapped in, huh?
I like Colin Murray Boyles. Him and Coward, those are my two.
All right, 10 was the Maliuch.
Yeah, his story was amazing.
Okay.
Yes.
Like the dude was sobbing on the stage. I was like, bro,
No.
this means more.
His whole family crying too.
No, I've got the interview. The interview. This was one of my favorite moments of the entire night last night. Was this kid from Duke getting drafted 10th overall?
Like me being delusional about my dreams, believing in myself that I'm going to make it to the NBA one day, and now I'm here in the NBA draft. Just got drafted.
We also talked about the pride and all the folks that you are representing. What do you want to say about the people that have helped you get here, and in particular your roots in Africa?
I mean, I'm here representing the whole continent. Living Africa, I had the whole continent on my back, giving hopes to young kids, inspiring young kids and the next generation of African basketball.
Specifically to your parents, Marid and Owang, what would you say to them as they're watching at whatever time it is where they're watching?
I mean, I want to thank them so much for raising me the way they raised me. I mean, I got a good black suit. I got South Sudan flag inside, and I got Ugandan flag inside. I'm representing those two countries because I was born in South Sudan and I grew up in Uganda my whole life. So I feel like these two countries are home to me, and I didn't want to forget where I come from, and I want to represent them up here. And after all that, I represent all those two countries, and I also represent the whole of Africa.
I hope he is awesome.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him, bro.
I hope he is awesome.
Yeah.
And his interviews were so great all night, and it's just like such a cool story.
Yes.
South Sudan and Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and this is for all the kids out there, all the little African kids out there that are growing up. You know, I was delusional about my dreams. I mean,
I bet
it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's somebody you're gonna root for. Bro.
11,
That means
obviously,
more, bro.
best pick of the draft by a wide margin.
Yeah.
Cedric Coward to the Grizzlies.
Yeah. By the way, Jalen Wells has acknowledged your jersey. By the way, on Twitter,
Jalen Wells?
he's acknowledged that you're wearing a Cougs jersey. Yeah.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. he
Jalen
says-
Wells watching the show?
He quote tweeted, says, "Shout out to the Cougs jersey." He tweeted that. He just tweeted that.
This is the K. Moore jersey I bought when we won those bets.
I couldn't find mine, so you good.
It was the best I could do.
Hey, look, you did a good job.
It was the best I could do.
We all Cougs around here, bro.
He's wearing the Washington State jersey. Then we got Noah Asenge. He fell a little.
He did.
Yeah.
He fell a little.
I
and
mean,
he's
look
going-
at it. You see his suit? You deserve to fall when you wear a suit like that.
Then we had Derek Queen. Okay, this was just wild.
The Pelicans.
I mean, to have them trade next year again, unless there's two things: big plans in this offseason for them, or they're delusional. It's one or the other, right?
Yeah.
Like, do you think you're going to be good?
Well, if they are, they're paying. They're in the second apron if they are going to try to be good. Like,
No, but I'm saying, do you think you're going to be good? Like, how good?
yeah,
Because like that pick next year could be awesome.
yes, it could be.
Who are you going to be better than?
Right.
Well, DeJounte, Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy, Zion. That's not bad, but it ain't good.
It's just
Good
insane
play,
to
yeah.
move up. Again, they had a pick later. To move up 10 spots and give up next year's pick unprotected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little aggressive.
And again, how does Queen fit with Zion?
Brothers of Destruction.
Okay.
Brothers of Destruction. No, at the buffet.
The buffet killers.
At the buffet, yeah.
Yeah.
They're gonna walk in together. 2 men on the buffet.
Yeah, I guess. And maybe Derek Queen, look, I mean, maybe he ends up being fantastic. Who knows? But that seems crazy to me. Carter Bryant ended up going 14.
Yeah, sure.
Thomas Sorber went 15. So he went to Oklahoma City. Let's just hope that it's one that they finally got wrong. I don't know.
Right. I think they watched his TikToks and drafted him because you see him on TikTok.
Thomas Sorber?
That's all he does is dance.
Is he good?
All he does is dance.
Oh, God. So he'll fit right in
He'll
with
fit
all
right
the
in.
Dancing Thunder.
Yeah.
They should have a Thunder. What's that show in Vegas? It's like the male strippers. You know what I'm talking about? They always send the ads when we're in Vegas.
I don't get those ads.
We don't get them ads, bro.
When you're in Vegas, dummy, with the things they have on the, when you're like at your hotel room and they've got like the flyers and whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're
And they
talking
got
about.
billboards everywhere. What is it? It's Thunder Down Under. And it's like the male review. Stop acting like you don't know what I'm talking
Hey,
about.
Happy June, bro.
Thunder Down Under.
Hashtag Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
All right, Young Hansen went 16th, so at least we don't have to worry about, that being a regret for the rest of our lives. Minnesota took a chick at 17. Joan Behringer. It is 2025, but damn.
All right.
I saw the name and I was like, that's crazy.
Jones. We making
All right.
Jones in 2025?
Who knows?
Making Dude Jones?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm just reading what it says. That's a dude?
Yeah.
A dude named Joan?
He's where's he from?
I guess you don't pronounce it that way. Is it Johan?
I think you pronounce it Johan. He's from French.
Oh, he's from
He's
France.
from
He's from
He's
France.
young Gobert.
Walter Clayton Jr. Okay, so look, that one was fascinating to me because not only had the Wizards already taken Trey Johnson, and then obviously the Walter Clayton Jr. He ends up, it was the Wizards pick, but he ends up going to Utah, right? So he ends up going to Utah. But another guy that, and I think I started to tell you guys this, but then we tailed off into something else because none of us have any attention span whatsoever.
None.
Walter Clayton Jr., I saw an interview with him, and it was a lot like that, like Slam Magazine type of thing that I showed you, like the rapid fire things.
Yeah.
And they were like, if you could go to dinner with any 3 people, who would you go to dinner with? And he was like, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, and, Bam Adebayo. And then they were like, who's the best player ever? And he's like, Dwayne Wade. Like, he literally was all heat.
Yeah.
Who? Walter Clayton?
Yes, and everybody then said he's got a promise at 20. Like, he wanted to be.
He wanted to play for the
I'm telling you, I saw an interview where he answered every question with heat.
Yeah.
Like, he picked, like, Eric Spoelstra is one of the people you'd want to go to dinner with.
That's
What
wild.
are you
Yeah,
talking
you
about?
gotta
Come
talk
on.
about that,
You don't have to kiss up to your coach that much.
Yeah, bro.
But, I mean, he knew. And so the deal was he worked out for Miami. He canceled everything else.
Oh, okay.
So then he went 18. Now his ass is going to Utah.
You going to Utah?
Bro,
Ace Bailey.
you went from Speedos to Canada Goose coats.
Yeah, good luck, my dog.
You better get those Canada Goose.
Going from BBLs to flatbacks. Have fun, my dog. ain't no BBLs in Utah. Ain't no BBLs in Utah, my dog.
Why they gotta be flatbacks?
They got to be flat
All right,
back.
come on.
They can do squats.
19 Nolan Traore. Who is that?
Who?
I went through. Yeah, I went through all these draft things. I guess there was just some of these guys I didn't spend enough
I think
time
he's a
on.
French dude too, bro. Yeah, he's from France.
They had a ton.
He's another French dude.
Yeah.
Your guy dropped.
Yeah, he did.
Asa Newell.
He did. He had
but he ended up in a good spot with the Hawks.
Atlanta, yeah. And
I
he had
thought.
the best. He had the best fit of the night too, with the purple suit. You see that joint?
Oh,
Where did Traore go? What number?
He went to 19 to Brooklyn.
That was their second point guard they took.
Yes.
How many did they take 3-point guards last night?
Well, Ben Serif, is he a point guard? Who the hell is that? Some of these names, it's like Ben Serif.
He played at Real Madrid,
Bro,
didn't he?
we went through a whole span where it was like create a player
he was Israel.
names.
It was really
like, in the next pick, Will Riley. In the next pick, Drake Powell. And the next pick, Ben Serif. It's like, what?
2K names.
He is a
Yes.
guard. I mean, he's a guard. He's 6'6", 6'5", 6'6".
Neat Clifford went to the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a kid that we saw.
Of course he
He's going to Sacramento.
Yeah.
By the way, I
but
think
he went their pick.
And isn't Walter Clayton? He's not going. Is he?
He's
going?
Utah.
It is Utah.
he's going to Utah, bro.
I thought it
told
was
you.
Washington. No,
Yeah, it's who he got drafted by.
Okay, yeah.
By the way, they've finished the prophecy, Vernon. Did you see this? Atlanta Hawks. Put the photo up. Is it Jacob down there or Jalen? Jalen.
Jacob.
Whoever it is down there, put it up. I told you, they have a lineup. We're gonna have all light skinned players, and they drafted Asa Newell.
Come on.
No, they all look the
Look.
same.
They all
And
look alike.
Porzingis.
It's a transformation photo, bro. Now you put Asa Newell at the 5.
And it just looks like
It's all them. Look at it's all them together.
Wow.
yeah.
Shout out to the Hawks, man. Not really shout out, but
You're not
y'all got
gonna
it tight.
You're not. It's yeah.
You like that? You like that outfit?
oh yeah, the fit was elite. Shout out Asa Newell. Man.
And then I was I was texting back and forth with Jacoby and Joe House and Bill Simmons last night, and I texted when it got to 28, Bill wanted the kid from St. Joe's so bad, and then they took Hugo Gonzalez. So I texted him, congrats on drafting the star of Hustle 2.
Not Hugo.
He's gonna be the new Hernan Gomez with Anthony Edwards talking shit to him.
Or Cedric Coward.
Hugo Gonzalez.
Hugo Gonzalez.
Yeah, Cedric Coward
Gonna be
talking
Cedric
crazy to
Coward
Hugo
talking
Gonzalez.
Oh, I can't wait. I love it. Hey, by the way,
That's Hustle 2 with Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Also, the Magic have a type too, bro. They got Jace Richardson. They drafted what's the name son, Cole Anthony,
Oh.
Greg Anthony's son.
Okay.
And they drafted Jace Howard.
Wait.
Howard.
Wait.
Jet
Howard.
Howard. Jet Howard.
Jet Howard.
There's another Anthony?
No, I'm saying they drafted Cole Anthony.
Oh,
They drafted
Cole
Cole
Anthony,
Anthony.
Jet Howard,
They
Jace
drafted Jet Howard,
Richardson,
and they
sons of
drafted
former
Jace Richardson.
players.
They want like the
Sons of the
sons of NBA
lineage.
players.
Sons of the players.
They got a type, bro.
Okay, by the way, and then I stayed up to watch the all the way till the end. Did you see that guy walk out of the stands that the Clippers drafted?
Yeah.
He's gigantic.
He was like way up too.
He's gigantic. Who is that?
And he ran to the stage, bro. He sprinted.
He was a giant.
Yeah, he was big.
Yannick?
Yeah.
Where it said he played at Stanford or something? No, not Stanford. Where did he play?
Penn State.
Penn
State.
State. I was like, who the hell are you?
Yeah. First Penn State player taken in the first round.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever?
Trust me, Darnell was having a.
Yeah, he was.
He was tucking it last night.
Yeah.
He was so
He
excited.
was huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Was he like 7'2" or
He's
something?
like, he's like a legit, I think, footer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a footer. His thing says
He also looked crazy seeing him walk out of the stands.
No, he was sprinting, bro. He was running down the hallway.
Both of those, they put all the giants in the stands. Like the freaking Chinese guy was there too.
They're like, we ain't got no room for you.
How did they have room for their knees?
I guess not.
Wait, hold on.
No tables available
Jacob,
for
let
them.
me see you the video of him running down the.
Is that poor Kalkbrenner still sitting up there? You guy from Creighton. He's still in the I know.
He's just there for the vibes.
He's just still he's still in the stands. He's up in the upper deck like the rest of the footers. Yeah, they're just like there's a 7-foot section.
Man's knees are like
7-foot
Hey,
section.
Jacob, play the video of my guy running from the suite to the stage, bro.
7-foot
They
section.
drafted this dude and he sprinted, bro. If I got the video downstairs.
Oh, who?
I can't say play the video to Jalen because he's not here today.
Oh.
He took the day off.
He took the day off.
Yeah, but Jacob, can you play the video for me?
Niederhauser.
Look at this dude.
Oh.
Sprinting down the hallway, bro.
Oh, that's awesome. You got to be really wary of hitting your head on something.
No,
dude, he's like having to duck the whole time he's running.
Yeah, Niederhauser.
Niederhauser.
That's his last
don't
name.
think so.
That is going to look horrible on a jersey.
Dude, it's gonna be like
Niederhauser?
rainbow
It's like the
jersey.
rainbow
There's the
jersey.
rainbow jersey.
I mean, with no hyphen?
Yeah.
No hyphen.
Niederhauser?
I don't like
Man.
that, bro. He
Yeah.
sounds like a.
Is there someone who has to stitch those, or do they just let the machine do it
Let the
now?
machine do it now.
They just type it in, and the machine does it,
Yeah.
sews it in there.
Yeah.
That's a wicked jersey.
Anyway, looks like there's a couple other centers that are possible second rounders. There's a guy named Rocco in the second round. I like that.
I like that.
Rocco Zikarski from Brisbane, Australia. I like that. All right. So look, I mentioned those names yesterday. Obviously, I'm in love with Elijah Martin, but I don't know if he's going to make it to the Grizzlies pick. The other ones are like guys that I know just from watching a ton of college basketball. I root for Cam, and I hope he does well. The kid from Memphis, Cam Jones. I also Cam Jones. I also, as I mentioned, the Nembhard thing. He's little, but his brother's fantastic. So if he ended up having a career, it would be that surprising. Cam Jones, Nembhard. I mentioned Janai Broom yesterday to you guys.
Yeah.
You think he's going to be terrible?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be very good.
I mean,
he's skilled as hell.
I kind of want Roser to call his 30-20 G League game.
Yeah.
He could be like, just like
Yeah.
What's his name? Baycott was last year.
Yeah, Armando.
Oh, yeah, Armando Baycott.
He's not really
Baycott.
athletic, but he's super cold.
Yeah.
This Dylan Brooks story just came out.
What
Yeah,
Dylan Brooks story?
Bro, this is insane. From Complex. Dylan Brooks alleges his ex, Heather Andrews, was emotionally abusive and threatened to cut off his fingers. The NBA star has filed for a restraining order.
Cut off his fingers?
Yeah, claims she has destroyed his belongings, hacked into his social media accounts, and even once threatened to cut off his fingers.
Oh, no. This a baby mama?
Yeah,
Tim, this
2
might be the
kids.
one-
They got 2
Huh?
kids.
This is-
I'm scared to say
dude.
something because she might find our show.
No, they had the kid, and then they broke up. And then they ended up having another kid.
Yeah, it says Brooks reportedly said he met Andrews during a visit to Las Vegas nightclub in 2018. Then they began a relationship not long after. Within months of being together, she became pregnant, and she was emotionally abusive. That's when the emotionally abusive.
Well, she's the one that went on social media to trash him.
Yeah.
I remember. She
Huh?
used
That
to
was hardcore.
She used to tag of the team account.
That's right. It's hardcore.
Like, we used to post a Happy Father's
yeah, I
Day
remember.
post.
Heather, right?
She would spam the Father's Day post.
The
Man, I hope he can get
texts-
through it.
The alleged texts are out there too. She says, "I'll pull up at the gym. I'm done effing around. It's war. Just wait. I'll have someone cut off each one of your effing little fingers off one by one, so you can never play basketball." And actually, now I understand why people are racist.
Was this? Oh my
Like,
God.
Good
it's-
Lord.
Yeah,
This
like,
was over child.
It's all.
Was it over child support?
It doesn't say all that, but
Because remember, he was the one saying that she wasn't letting him see the girl, and it's just
Another
so
one says,
sucks.
"I'm going to
Sucks.
have you hurt."
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
awful,
crazy.
man.
It sucks.
damn, DB.
Damn, DB. Cut off his finger.
Cut off fingers is a wild. You know how crazy you got to be to say that, bro. Like, I've heard
super crazy.
I've heard some crazy stuff from the female.
I don't even understand how that even whatever happened to Barry Sanders handing the ball to the referee, and whatever happened to just slashing somebody's tires.
Carry on
Now
doing
we're
stuff.
cutting off digits.
Cutting off
Back
digits
in
now.
my day, you just keyed a car.
Carrie Underwood made a song about that, didn't he?
Right.
I took my key into the side. Yeah, that's a banger, by the way.
That's right. Proud of you.
Oh, that's a banger, bro.
A
That
banger.
joint is a banger. Shout out Carrie Underwood, bro.
Maybe next time we'll think before he cheats. Now, no, she didn't. Yeah, part of the lyrics are not, I'll cut his fingers off.
That's the remix.
Yeah. So like the
Cut
little
his fingers.
crazy girls, like just listen to Carrie Underwood a little
Yeah,
bit. Just
yeah.
go back to slashing
Yeah.
tires and keying cars.
Whatever
Like,
happened? Now we're talking about cutting people's hands off.
and having to and have
And
like
then
I'm
you
gonna
can't
have
play
somebody
basketball.
It's all
I don't
right.
know. I don't even think Dylan Brooks really needs them. He can play with nubs. Shoot the same percentage.
The first NBA player with
Damn.
nubs is crazy.
That's wild.
And you might be better.
Him and Hansel plays. Hey, there's Hansel. He's got one hand.
Get the
He does. I'll tell you this.
In the show, bro.
We would have won Game 4 in Golden State if he had nubs.
Oh my god.
For sure.
I'm walking away.
We for sure would have won Game 4
Game 4
if he had nubs.
What is wrong with
I'm not endorsing this to happen. I'm just analyzing the game.
What's wrong with y'all, bro? I got a Canadian shirt on today, too, bro. Don't do
We're
that.
out of here. This show's
Yeah, what is that shirt?
This is Lance Storm. You know Lance Storm?
Yeah, I remember Lance Storm.
kind
The
of
back is a-
homoerotic.
Whoa, no, you talking? I can't be homoerotic.
Yes, it does. You got an oiled up man on your shirt.
Look at the
He's
back of it.
oiled up.
Look at the back of it, though.
He's oiled up.
Don't blame Canada. Blame
Well, why is he so oiled up?
this man talking about old up people.
He
He talking
is.
about getting ass.
Look at it. You look like that looks like the Thunder Down Under show in Vegas.
The people,
Well, you guys,
the ad that me and Roger didn't get.
you guys get it all out because
wait, you guys don't get those hands.
No. You got like 4 more days, guys.
Phooey.
You got 4 more days.
You got 4 more days, Verno.
4 more days.
No.
To what?
To keep going. Keep going.
To what?
Keep chin.
June.
Your favorite month, bro.
Shut up, idiot. All right, look. Cedric Coward's going to be on the show tomorrow. That's happening. So, tune
And
in.
then he's going to win Rookie of the Year.
And then he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
No big whoop.
And he's going to win us a chip.
Shout out to Dylan Brooks' fingers. We will be back tomorrow. Thanks to Devin Walker. Thanks to John Roser across the glass. Thanks to Jacob back in the studio. Until tomorrow, we gone.